Yeah, we started. I got to know Dave when I was playing at Sac State. Like, you were the class leaving after me, but I got to meet you on a recruiting trip, and certainly as you'd come back after going to the minor leagues and coming in the off season and getting to know you a little bit, it's always kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to be like that guy. You know, he did everything right. I'm like, coming in as a freshman, I'm like, that's how big you got to be. Like, Dave, you were massive.
Yeah.
As a third baseman, I'm coming in as an outfielder. I'm like, shit, I got to put on like 30 pounds.
No, I'm sure we'll dive into that. That's not the exact route you want to go.
That's the perspective you get, right? Like, for me, coming in as a high school, barely being able to put on like any more than 5 extra pounds on myself. I'm like, okay, what is it that those guys were doing that I need to do that? Fresh perspective, and then hopefully, we can, again, like you said, dive into specifics of maybe what was the better choice there, potentially.
Different choice,
But either way, I think, like Tony said in this conversation, to dive deep into maybe some of the unique perspective of how you develop a player from your end of recruiting, and then certainly from our end of rehab and what we both know about performance. I think that first starts with kind of a little bit of your background. So if you want to share maybe your college experience and then how it led to the major league experiences and then coaching.
Definitely. I attended Sacramento State from 2004 to 2008 and played 4 years there under Coach John Smith. And after that, I was lucky enough to get drafted by the Houston Astros and play third base for them for about 4 to 5 years. One of those years I was hurt. So that's a little bit of my playing background. I got up to the AA level and then kind of fizzled out from there.
Yeah. And then when you were at Sac State, we kind of alluded to it, how you saw where you were as a freshman and where you obviously wanted to be at the major league level. What things did you do from maybe a performance standpoint or working on your game that you felt was like getting you in the right space?
It definitely started with getting stronger and bigger. I played football in high school, so that was always intriguing to me, just to keep getting as physical. When you see some of these guys on TV that are pro guys that are physical, kind of like you were talking about, like that's who I want to be like. That's how strong I got to get to looking like. But you just see those guys on TV. After you see them up close, you understand that they're not as big as I guess you think. They're just good athletes that move really well. And so going through Sac State my first couple of years, it was get as big and strong as I could. And I think I put all my attention into doing that kind of thing, and I did. But later down the road in my career, we can probably talk about a little bit later on, it kind of wasn't the right route. But in terms of skill development, it's just I love playing defense. That was probably my favorite thing about baseball. And growing up, I am the hitting coach now, but on the defensive side, I love playing infield and knew that I had to be a good defender to play at the next level also, just in case the hitting stuff doesn't play out.
Yeah. The hitting always goes through ebbs and flows, as you know. Like, you get these slumps and these hot streaks, and what always has to stay consistent is when you put your mind on the diamond and being a stop every single time the ball gets to you. So, and then when you finally did you have any injury hurdles when you were at Sac State?
No, I didn't have any significant injuries at Sac State. I mean, I had a bum shoulder here or there or something like that, but nothing that kept me out of the lineup or took me out. So, no, fortunately. And
then when you got to the major leagues, or at least the professional ranks, you said you missed one of the years to an injury. What
I had two significant injuries going into during my time in pro ball with the Astros. The first one was I had Tommy John in my first full season at the end of the year. I played through it that whole first year, a full season. They did an MRI about a month ago in the season, said you only had bone spurs, gave me a call 2 weeks later and said, actually, you're going to need some Tommy John. So I went on the DL once or twice that year, but played through it. And then the second surgery I had was an ACL surgery 2 years later when I was done with my career. Another injury that I suffered in high A, but I played with it for 2 years. They actually told me I'm okay to do it as long as it doesn't hinder me. So once I was done playing with my career, they did surgery and fixed it. So 2 big surgeries.
Two very big and long rehab process surgeries, which you meet a lot of people during those times.
Oh, yeah.
Did you meet someone during your Tommy John surgery?
Actually the Tommy John surgery, you guys had done the rehab for me, but
this individual right here.
That was me.
That was a lead-in. I was hoping you'd catch that.
Which was a good time, and I actually dove into a lot of strength training there too, which was awesome. I got to do a lot of speed and agility stuff and more baseball-specific movement at the time, which was awesome. But to go back to your question, when I had Tommy John, the first couple of weeks, I flew down to Florida to work with those doctors in rehab there, and Roger Clemens, the son, was there, and Roger was there. So it was kind of cool, I guess, good timing that I got to go to Ruth Chris once or twice with him and things like that. So
bad experience.
Being hurt didn't feel all that bad at that time, but it's not something that was fun and,
No.
wish upon anybody.
Yeah.